everyone, this is FantasyEsque and welcome back to the Sims 4 Vampire Amazon Royal Saga with the Salazar Coven. What has gone down since the last episode? Let's take a look at the mini-movie. Basically, we picked up pretty much where we left off. Our queen was wondering what the hell is going on here after the revelation that Catherine and Xiomara had something going on in secret. And then not Xiomara, Catherine was kind of taken a little bit aback, and obviously people had moved around in the room a little bit since we left off. But Catherine was apologizing to the queen. She didn't mean to make the queen upset by saying these things. And then we had Elaine crying on the floor, telling Xiomara that, you can't do this to me, you can't, because, she's bewitched by Xiomara, so she does not approve of Xiomara getting married to the queen. She feels very heartbroken and betrayed by that, so she was, crying on the floor, and then Meredith saw her crying, and Meredith was she kind of saw them, and she was like, Elaine, what? Are you involved in this too? And then Lagertha kind of was next to her sister Meredith, and she said it seems as though there was more going on behind the scenes than we thought. And then obviously Guinevere is over there just being absolutely disgusted by everything. She was like, this is just ridiculous. And so everything was all over the place, and in the end the queen said, enough, everyone silence. It seems I was lied to. There will be no wedding. There's going to be no wedding. This is more embarrassment than I can bear. And she walked out of the throne room. And Guinevere tried to stop her. She said, sister, wait. But, Eden obviously did not want to stay there. She just kept on going. And then Guinevere kind of said, what a mess. Because it is an absolute mess. Now, following that, Xiomara came to Forgotten Hollow. So she showed up on Lagertha's doorstep. This is obviously after a little bit of time. Everyone, seems to be dealing with their own emotions. Obviously, the ladies were allowed to go back to their residences after that botched announcement. And Xiomara showed up at Lagertha's doorstep, and Lagertha was a little bit taken aback and surprised. She had her uncle Myron with her, and then she had her cousin, Prince Rusty, and obviously Princess Kyra there as well. And she asked Xiomara, is everything okay? It's such an unexpected visit from you at this late hour. What's going on? And then Xiomara said, I need your help, my lady, or the queen will have me killed. And obviously Lagertha felt that wasn't a conversation to be having in front of the kids, so she told Prince Rusty to take his sister to somewhere a little bit quieter, and that way the adults would have, some time to talk. So Rusty took little Kyra. I swear, they're so cute. I love the kids. They're so adorable. Both the boys and the girls. They're just so cute. But Rusty took Kyra somewhere a little bit more quiet. And now we're picking up with these guys. So the kids have gone off to another corner of the creature cradle. They're spending some time with each other, and Xiomara has been brought down to the dungeon with Myron and Lagertha so that they can talk in private about this help that Xiomara needs, what is going on. So guys, let's have a look and see what exactly Xiomara has to say about her unexpected visit. So Xiomara over here is chatting with Lagertha and Myron. Let's see. She wanted to talk with Myron, so let's go and do that. And she's essentially gonna tell these guys that, she's gonna brood a little bit, and she's gonna tell them that there is no way the queen is gonna let her off the hook for what happened in the throne room, for the announcement that went down. There is no way the queen is going to let her off the hook. They've already been through a little bit of a problem, and, Xiomara worked really hard to sort it out. She's obviously not going to tell them about the potions, but she worked really hard to sort it out with the queen. And then this mess happened, and she can't see how she's going to get out of it because everyone witnessed what was going on. And Lagertha, she knows a little bit about what happened over there. She was present, right? She was present during the kind of botched announcement. So, botched? There we go. The announcement that got screwed up, she was there, and she obviously shared a little bit of it with Myron, but yeah, Xiomara's over here, she's, complaining a little bit, but she's basically saying that I can't stay at the castle anymore. It's not gonna be that long before the queen asks for her head, right? I mean, as far as Xiomara is concerned, that's the way the vampires have always been, especially the vampires in power. And I think she's especially fearful of Guinevere at Eden's side. Because Guinevere knows certain things about her. And, if the queen finds out, she's not going to tell Lagertha this, but if the queen finds out she's immortal on top of that, then she's kind of screwed. So as far as she's concerned, the queen's going to kill her any point now. She can't stay there. She wants refuge at the creature cradle. She feels like the queen respects Lagertha enough not to come barging in here, and if Lagertha puts in a good word for Xiomara, then maybe she'll be able to help kind of stave off the queen's anger. And so Xiomara is kind of begging Lagertha to help her out over here. That's kind of like her final hope. And obviously, Lagertha isn't someone that she has bewitched or that she's allured. Lagertha is just a lady in court who is her friend. Lagertha is her friend. And even though Lagertha kind of witnessed what happened between Xiomara and everyone else, she's not exactly judging, especially because, the kind of history that Lagertha comes from. She's been looked down on by the vampires. Like, she and her sister have been bullied by Guinevere in particular, so she can kind of understand that maybe Xiomara, made all these relationships because she was trying to establish a foothold in the court and preserve kind of herself and her status. She isn't exactly looking at it as Xiomara being conniving. Yes, Xiomara is in a mess. Yes, she didn't handle it properly, but maybe there were some valid reasons for why she did what she did in the beginning, right? So Lagertha's kind of taking it with a grain of salt, and she doesn't want to judge Xiomara too harshly. But at the same time, Myron is speaking out, and Myron is saying that he and Lagertha need to think about this a little bit more before they make a decision and help out Xiomara. So actually, Myron is going to get Lagertha. They're going to leave Xiomara over here for a bit. They're going to get, he's going to get Lagertha to come here. So he's going to excuse himself and Lagertha. He's going to come back here. He's going to ask for a word in private. So Lagertha, she is going to join Myron in a second here. She's going to assure Xiomara that, they'll think seriously about her concerns. Just wait here for a bit. She's going to talk with Myron, and then she'll let her know what their decision is. So over here, Myron is going to be telling Lagertha, he's going to gossip about the ancient vampires. He's going to be telling Lagertha that when he was younger, there kind of was a situation where his sister Ciri and Lagertha's mother made certain decisions that the main court did not agree with. And it was done in secret, even though they knew it was wrong, and Myron had the opportunity to speak up, but he did not speak up. He kind of thought it would be okay to leave things in Ciri's hands, and that, in the end, Ciri would make the right decision, so he kind of went along. Now, that decision obviously was the secret marriage that Ciri had with Lagertha's father, Emmanuel Savage. So, Myron over here is saying that he regrets not speaking up back then, and he regrets not stepping in and saying no in the beginning, even though he could see that, this wasn't the right thing to do, because Emmanuel ended up treating Ciri really terribly, and, he didn't even give Lagertha and Meredith the love and affection that they were hoping he would. They were expecting him to, as their father, and as someone who was married to Ciri. And so Myron saw his sister getting hurt by that. She was almost roped into the traitorous deeds of Emmanuel, and that could have ruined, Lagertha's bloodline. Like, Lagertha and Meredith could have had a terrible status. They could have been outcasts for what their mother did, but, thankfully they weren't. And so Myron feels as though the same situation is kind of happening again. Again, the Broodmother line is being faced with the possibility of becoming traitors, and he feels like this time around he should, stand up. This time around, he should stand up, speak up, and tell Lagertha that, no, as your uncle, it is my responsibility to tell you that this is not right. You shouldn't get involved with it. Whatever her initial intentions might have been, Xiomara did screw up, and the court is not happy with that. We know that the queen is not happy with what happened during the betrothal announcement. I do not feel you should get involved. Yes, the queen might have a bit of respect for you, but don't ever abuse that, because, if you ever get in trouble, then Xiomara might not be in the position to help you the way that she thinks you can help her. And obviously they don't know a whole bunch of things that Xiomara's done with potions and whatnot, but Myron can see that it feels off, he doesn't like it, and he's going to advise Lagertha to not go ahead and do it. And obviously Lagertha, she's close to her uncle, she looks up to him, they've always had a good relationship growing up, so she is going to be in agreement. And in the end, even though, part of it does want to help Xiomara, she aligns more with Myron, and she respects Myron as a family member. So if Myron's telling her that, no, don't do it, she's not going to do it. She trusts Myron to that degree. So they are going to come back. They're going to come back here. And they are going to let Xiomara know their decision. So they've kind of spoken in private. They're going to let Xiomara know their decision. And Lagertha is going to, along with Myron, tell Xiomara that, unfortunately, they're in no position to help Xiomara. She understands Xiomara's fears, but things might not be as severe as Xiomara is thinking. And also, Lagertha has a responsibility as, she's a part of the court. She might not be at the castle, but she's a part of the court. She's a member of the Salazar Coven, and she feels as though she should not do anything that goes against the greater good of the coven. So, unfortunately, she's going to be unable to help Xiomara, but she hopes that Xiomara is going to be able to, solve. And look, Xiomara is obviously not happy about this. She's insulting Lagertha. She's obviously not happy that Lagertha has decided to kind of keep her hands off this. She's very upset by that. She lashed out at her. She's insulting her. And I think she's telling Lagertha that you're just like everyone else. You're exactly like every other vampire that came before you. You never help. You guys, you stick to your own. You never help anyone. And this is why, in the long run, you and your people are cursed. You and your people will probably end up in the gutter, because no group that backstabs each other this much will ever live to see the light of day, right? So she's over here being all cheesed off. Now, she's not cursing them per se. She's just swearing at them. But yeah, she's getting really upset. But Lagertha is going to say that, she feels for her, but really there's nothing that can be done. There is nothing that can be done. So, okay. We can see the little kids. They're over here. Prince Rusty and Kyra, they're over there with each other. But Xiomara, she is going to leave because, she has to leave. So she's gonna go off. Let's come here. She's gonna excuse herself. Obviously, there is no help to be had. And she's really, really upset by that. There is no help to be had. She was hoping to convince Lagertha. She was really hoping. But unfortunately, it seems as though unless someone is bewitched, Xiomara really can't have them on her side. But before she leaves, another thought is going to strike Xiomara. She can't just leave like that. No. She came here for a reason. And even if she didn't get exactly what she wanted, she's going to make sure she gets something, right? And, you know, she's someone who's been practicing, like, untamed magic. So she is going to, over here, cast a spell. She's going to begin casting a spell before she leaves. And what spell is that? I wonder. I truly wonder. Okay, where are we? Well, we are at the prison fort. That's right. Xiomara, remember, has bewitched Jamie in one of her previous visits. And after that unsuccessful attempt to convince Lagertha to take her side, Xiomara has cast a spell and she has gone over to the prison fort. Right? So she's teleported herself using, you know, her untamed magics. She's teleported herself to the prison fort, but not only that. I mean, we have Lord Ari over here with his father, but Xiomara, along with herself, has gone ahead, and that's right, guys, she has kidnapped Princess Kyra. She's kidnapped flippin' Princess Kyra, and the poor adorable princess is locked in a tower at the prison fort, out of kind of sight. But Jamie was quite surprised when suddenly Kyra and Xiomara showed up, like, inside his fort. He was a little bit freaked out as well, but then Xiomara calmed him and said that she had to take drastic measures. She used her magic to teleport the both of them from Forgotten Hollow to Newcrest, to the prison fort over here. And she's basically telling Jamie that he is the only one that can save her now. He has to call the soldiers right now. Like, he has to summon the soldiers to his side to protect her because the queen is going to kill her. The queen's after her. Some things kind of got out of hand, and their betrothal kind of fell apart. I mean, she's still betrothed to Eden. Hold on a second. Wrong sim. She's still betrothed to Eden, except Eden is very, very upset at Xiomara. So as far as Xiomara's concerned, Eden is gonna, like, barge in at any point with her vampiresses, and she is gonna, like, lop off her head, right? So she's demanding that Jamie call her, like, his soldiers, because he's the commander, call his soldiers to the prison fort right now so that they can protect Xiomara and they can guard the princess. And so Jamie's asking, like, why did you could have come, I would have protected you, but, like, why did you bring the princess? And she's saying, well, I need leverage. You know, if the vampires end up coming here, finding me here, there is no way they're gonna let me off the hook, so I kidnapped the princess so that I have some leverage, so that we have some leverage, right? Because now Jamie's involved with Xiomara, right? They're in one boat at this point. So as far as she's concerned, whatever happens to Xiomara happens to Jamie. Now, this is a connection that nobody really knows about. Nobody knows, everyone, well, not everyone, but, you know, people are aware, obviously, that Elaine, like, at the throne room it came out that there's something going on with Elaine and Xiomara. But Guinevere knows that Xiomara paid a visit to Elaine because, remember, one of the soldiers who kind of serves Elaine, Luciano, he told Guinevere that something weird's going on between them and he's concerned about Elaine. So Guinevere knows that Xiomara paid a visit to Elaine, and she knows, remember, Guinevere's the only one who knows that Xiomara's used potions. But she doesn't know about Jamie. She doesn't know anything about Xiomara visiting Jamie. She thinks the potion's only been used on two people, Elaine and Eden. So Xiomara doesn't think anybody's going to know she's here, and nobody's going to find out that, you know, she's come here with the princess. Obviously, Lagertha and stuff, you know, they're probably freaking out over there because Xiomara just visited, they rejected her. Next thing they know, Kyra's disappeared, but they didn't see anyone take her, so they're a bit freaked out. But this is what Xiomara is. I feel like going a bit mad, a bit crazy, maniacal, if you will, and it's probably good for us to remember that she is erratic, guys. she has unstable and unpredictable emotions, and it is like coming out now. It is all coming out. So Jamie's over here. He's trying to calm her down, telling her that don't worry, I will protect you. I'll take care of you. And Xiomara's telling him, I believe you, but you can't do it alone. Call the soldiers. Call them now. We need the soldiers at the prison fort now. So that's what's going on. Jamie is going to send out notes. He's going to send out notes to all his soldiers across the empire, and he is going to call his loyalists to his side. Now, obviously, none of the soldiers have been bewitched, but the soldiers do know that they report to Jamie. He's their commander. Obviously, the soldiers, they wouldn't exactly know what's going on, right? But are they going to answer his summons, guys? And if they do, which soldiers are going to find their way to Jamie's side, and which soldiers are going to stay behind or maybe go to Guinevere to find out what's going on, because they haven't received any orders from, the court. They haven't received any orders from Guinevere or the queen. So let's take a look how far Xiomara can get with a scheme of hers. Guys, I was gonna take off, but we have to just, take a look at the adorable princess. I feel so bad for her. Look at her! She's all by herself. She no doubt is confused. I mean, she's got this little room over here. There's like, the windows are way too high for her. She can't see what's going on outside. She's been left on her own. She was, happily with her brother, Prince Rusty. Next minute she knows she was magicked away somewhere else with unfamiliar people. I mean, she's never been that close with Xiomara. She definitely has never been that close with Jamie. I mean, they're familiar faces, but she doesn't really know them that well, and neither does she know Lord Ari that well. So she is, a little bit confused. I feel like maybe a little bit upset at what's going on. Thankfully, she's mad. Look at Xiomara. Look at her. She's continuing with this mind control. Oh my goodness. But little Princess Kyra, she, is in unfamiliar territory. She doesn't have any clue what's going on. She doesn't know these people too well. And nobody's talking to her. She's getting worried, she's getting concerned, and she just wants to talk to Myron. She just wants Myron right now. And I feel so bad for her. Oh my goodness. I feel so bad for her. Like, Myron is someone that she knows and is familiar with, right? Myron is her brother's father. And he's the one, along with Lagertha, that's been raising her. And, Ari is Lagertha's son, from what I remember. Yep, that's Lagertha's, I think, son. But even still, like, he has never grown up there. He's always been at the prison fort with his father. So obviously Kyra doesn't know him too well, not like she knows, her brother Rusty. So I feel so bad for her, guys. I hope the ladies are able to take care of her and save her. I mean, look at her relationship. She actually has a very close relationship with Guinevere. How wild is that? Like, she's really close with, like, her father's Blaze, obviously. Even though she doesn't get to meet her father that often, she adores her father. She adores her mother, of course, and she's really close with Guinevere. She's actually closer with Guinevere, I think, than she is with her own mother, Eden. But she's not close at all with Xiomara. So I feel like this would be upsetting to be taken by Xiomara to this unfamiliar place. Oh my goodness. I hope you're able to get out of this, honey. I really hope so. I feel so bad with her in here. This poor little tiny little child. Oh my goodness, someone save the princess. Okay, we are picking up at the creature cradle. Now, obviously, Xiomara has left. Kyra is nowhere to be seen. Lagertha and Myron, they were kind of freaking out at where the princess has gone. I mean, as well as raising her, they're kind of charged with her protection. She's literally the heiress, the treasure of the next generation, their entire empire. So, understandably, they weren't being, calm. So they went ahead and called the champion to the creature cradle, saying that it is of utmost importance. And obviously the champion is the one who deals with security and, the army, these kind of things. So rather than, necessarily alarm the queen, they felt as though just having the champion here directly would be the best course of action. Especially if maybe nothing terrible has happened, and if that is the case, they don't want to freak out the queen for no reason, and they don't want to add to her concerns, right? So I feel like Lagertha over here, she's trying to calm down Rusty, because he probably came running to them saying that Kyra disappeared. And they're probably like, well, what do you mean Kyra disappeared? And he's going to say, well, she just vanished into thin air. She was there one moment, and then she wasn't the next, right? And so I feel like for Lagertha and Myron, a part of them might make the obvious connection that Xiomara was there and she left, and, Kyra kind of left with her. So it might be her, but I feel like Lagertha doesn't want to take that extra step to accuse her just yet. So she's, telling Guinevere that Kyra was here. They had a guest over, so she told Rusty to take Kyra someplace quiet, and Rusty's saying, yeah, we were just sitting over here by the fire with each other, and then she was gone. And so Guinevere is going to ask them to tell her exactly what happened before Kyra disappeared. And so Lagertha is going to, look, Rusty over here is kind of giving a quick account, is adding, his side of the story. But Lagertha is going to tell Guinevere exactly what happened. She's going to say that Xiomara showed up at their doorstep, and she was very, erratic. She was very concerned and worried, freaked out. So they went down, they had a conversation, and she was saying that the queen wants to kill her, and that she wants Lagertha's help, she wants refuge here, and also she wants Lagertha to speak up on her behalf. But Lagertha, decided in the end that she wasn't going to do that. She wasn't going to betray the queen or the coven. So she told her that there was no help to be had at the creature cradle, and as far as she's concerned, Xiomara left. Now, obviously, Xiomara was a bit upset before she left, and she insulted Lagertha and Myron, and she was saying that the vampires are going to be their own doom and demise, and, all of those things. So Guinevere over here is the first one to say it out in the open. Xiomara has taken the princess. She has kidnapped the princess. She is officially a traitor now. And then Guinevere is going to rack her brains for where Xiomara might be. And she's going to think, well, we know that Eden got the potion, but she's trying to escape from the castle, so she can't be there. And she only used the potion of alluring aura on Eden. If Eden, hasn't been completely bewitched by her. Now, if Eden had been bewitched, then even after finding out, so remember before, I hope I clarified this, but I think Guinevere wasn't sure which romantic potion was used on who. She just knows. Or did she kind of, in the end, think to herself that maybe the transcendent charmer was used on Elaine, and maybe the alluring aura was used on the queen? That's right, because Elaine was acting like really weird. Okay, so she knows that, Elaine is bewitched, right? So she's going to think to herself, well, if Lagertha is not helping her, then the only other accomplice she has, the only other person she can go to, is Elaine. Obviously, she doesn't know about Jamie. So Guinevere over here is going to tell Lagertha to stay alert, take care of things here, secure this area, so that, if the princess somehow finds her way back, or if anyone comes with news of the princess, because it makes sense, maybe you'd go to the creature cradle, since that's where the princess is from. That's what she's supposed to be. Stay here in case there's any news, and if there's anything that you find out, then report it to Guinevere as soon as possible, but she's assuring Lagertha that she's going to figure this out. She's going to figure this out, and she's commending Lagertha. Right, now, this is a first, because in their past, she hasn't really treated the Dravagers that well, but she's commending Lagertha for turning Xiomara away. Right, as far as Guinevere is concerned, like, in her books, that's a deed worth noting, that she turned Xiomara away. I feel like this incident for Guinevere is maybe a slight turning point. Not for the Dravagers per se, but for Lagertha, because she's always kind of held the Dravagers in low regard, and because of that, she's always assumed that, you know, their blood is traitorous. And they're always going to, where given the opportunity, resort to their own interests and not doing what, you know, pure elite vampires would do, which for Guinevere, part of that elitism is, you know, dying for the coven and for the longevity of the Salazar line. But Lagertha over here, she's kind of gone beyond her expectations, right? She's not betrayed Eden. She's not taken Xiomara's side. So Guinevere is impressed with that. But she's going to tell Lagertha she'll handle things. Stay here. Keep an eye out. Keep your ear out for any, like, news and stuff. And then she's gonna head off to Castle Sheba to hopefully confront Xiomara and Elaine, is what Guinevere is hoping at this point. Okay, Guinevere is at Castle Sheba. So she walked in here, well, barged in here, and immediately started looking all over the place for Xiomara and Princess Kyra. Now, understandably, Blaze and Catherine and Luciano and Elaine, they were very confused and they were caught off guard by, you know, her suddenly showing up without any notice, and why she was being so frantic and why she was, like, acting so enraged. And Guinevere, I mean, as we saw when we were with the little princess, Guinevere is actually very, very close to her niece. She adores her niece, right? She's very, very close to her. Even if you think back to the episode when, I don't know if it was the episode where Eden gave birth to Kyra, but Guinevere was being very protective of Eden when Eden was pregnant, right? Almost as if it was her child that she was guarding. And that whole idea that nobody can hurt Eden except for her. And, you know, that protection extending to her child. So Guinevere is very upset that Kyra has gone missing. She's very upset that Kyra has gone missing. So she was over here ready to, you know, rip Xiomara into shreds. I mean, before, yeah, she, you know, she's keeping an eye on Xiomara and she kind of had stuff against her already, but now even more so, because she's kind of messed with something she shouldn't have messed with. But when she came here, Xiomara was nowhere to be found. Kyra was nowhere to be found, which obviously she wasn't happy with. And so these guys were kind of confused at what was going on, right? And then in that confusion, Elaine made herself scarce in another part of the castle because she received a note, right? She received a message from Xiomara. At the same time, Luciano received a message. Luciano and Blaze received a message from Jamie, right? So obviously Xiomara was calling Elaine to her side at the prison fort, and obviously Jamie was calling his soldiers, Blaze and Luciano, to his side as well. So obviously everyone was getting even more confused because Jamie's giving them an order, but the champion who Jamie's supposed to report to is here right now. And she hasn't said anything about the prison fort, so what's going on? There's a bit of confusion in the army happening right now. So Blaise and Luciano, understandably, went straight to Guinevere. They went straight to Guinevere while Elaine was planning to escape. And they showed her the note. They gave her the message, and they said, Jamie is summoning us to the prison fort. He's calling all the soldiers to the prison fort. And so Guinevere is going to, she realized, because this kind of happened, she realized that Xiomara actually bewitched more than one person alone. She didn't just bewitch Elaine, she bewitched Jamie. That's the only reason Jamie must be acting like this, because she didn't send out an order for everyone to meet at the prison fort. The Queen didn't send out an order for everyone to meet at the prison fort. So she knows that something's happened with Xiomara and Jamie, and that's why he's calling the soldiers to him. And so it kind of went to her brain, oh crap, we have to get Elaine. Elaine's going to be leaving. Elaine's going to try and escape to get to Xiomara. And we can't possibly let Elaine get to Xiomara. And so there's that confusion that was happening. And obviously Catherine was very confused, why is my sister involved in this? What about Elaine? She's been staying here, but it's completely gone over her head that Elaine's bewitched. She doesn't see it. She was surprised that Elaine was weeping after Xiomara and in the throne room, but she kind of just assumed that maybe Elaine was someone else that Xiomara was, flirting with, that she was romancing. And so I feel like part of Catherine has started wondering if she ever really was Xiomara's true love, and if Xiomara, the thing that happened between them, if that ever was real, or if it was all an act, if it was all fake. Just because of how many people Xiomara has roped into this game of hers, right? This fight to stay alive and stay at the top. So that's been happening. But as soon as Guinevere realized what was happening with Elaine, that Elaine was going to go meet up with Xiomara, she and Blaise, along with Luciano, they basically captured Elaine and they locked her up. So she can't leave now, she can't escape, and she was getting ready to escape, right? So Luciano is over here, he's keeping an eye on her, and, the whole reason Luciano is doing this is because Luciano, he's always been loyal to Elaine, and he knows that Elaine's had certain plans, right? But Elaine getting bewitched was not part of her plan, and so right now, Luciano's kind of on his own, and he feels as though the best way to help Elaine is to help Guinevere right now. Because he doesn't like the fact that the lady he serves, the one he's actually loyal to, he doesn't like the fact that she's bewitched. She's not thinking straight right now. She can't scheme, she can't plan, act, all those kind of things. Because her judgment is clouded by someone much more inferior, right? And he doesn't like that at all. So that's kind of why he's helping. For Luciano, this is protecting Elaine. Keeping Elaine locked up here is protecting her for her own good. So that's what she's doing over here. Well, that's what he's doing. And Elaine's been unable to escape. Now, after locking Elaine up, right, then Guinevere, and leaving kind of Luciano in charge there, Guinevere got Catherine and Blaise on their own over here in the little arena that they have going on, and she has shared with them the reason why she barged in the first place. Princess Kyra has gone missing. That's why this is all happening, and it's important for Blaise to know, because Blaise is obviously Kyra's father. He would want to know where she is, what's happening to her, and understandably he would be very, very worried about this as well. Now, Eden doesn't know about this yet. They haven't told Eden any of this, right? Because they were trying to figure out if it is actually something serious, and yes, it is. But Guinevere is kind of handling this, and she's also, remember, the Shadow Queen, right? So as far as Guinevere's feelings, what she feels, she is the most important person in the coven, and she is the one who has to know, has any right to know any information. It doesn't matter if Eden knows or not. As long as Guinevere knows, then it's okay. She'll deal with it. She's going to sort it out. right? Because even stuff that Eden does, she does after confirming with Guinevere. Guinevere is the one who instructs her and directs her. So what's the point of telling the Queen? The Queen's just going to come back to me to fix the issue. So I might as well just fix it without her having to know what's going on, or her at least being involved right now. They're gonna report to her later on, but right now Guinevere doesn't feel like it's important for Eden to know. So that's what's going on. She's told Blaze. Blaze is very worried. And I think Blaze, he just wants to charge in to the prison fort because they've kind of realized, okay, well, if Jamie's calling everyone to the prison fort, and we know that Xiomara's with him, that's where they must be keeping Kyra, and he wants to break her out. But Guinevere is saying, calm down, let's think this through. And Catherine's, obviously very shocked and upset. One, because now she's, finding out. Guinevere is sharing certain information with her, or with them. Because they're really confused. They're probably thinking, why is Jamie being this way? Or why is Elaine being this way? And so this is where Guinevere is going to tell them they're acting that way because they're bewitched. Xiomara has used banned potions. I've checked her stores. So she's used banned potions on Elaine, and that's why Elaine is acting this way. She's bewitched, and she's bewitched Jamie. And I think Catherine, she feels very betrayed because Xiomara has always been that one person. Even if they broke up and all of the drama that happened, she never thought, Elaine's her first love. Not Elaine, jeez, that's a twin sister. That's disgusting. Xiomara is her first love. So even if Xiomara was acting fake towards Catherine, Catherine was never fake towards her. Catherine was always genuine. And she never thought Xiomara would fall to this low. But that's exactly what has happened, and she feels like she didn't ever know Xiomara as well as she thought she did, obviously. So she's upset. Part of her feels guilty for not speaking up sooner. Maybe this wouldn't have happened if she had called Xiomara out earlier. Kyra wouldn't have been put in danger like this. She wouldn't have been used as part of Xiomara's twisted plot to, escape death. So that's what's happening. Obviously, there's certain things that Guinevere is keeping from them. Guinevere obviously isn't telling them that a banned potion was used on the Queen, because she doesn't want them to question her authority, because, that's how she controls everyone, through Eden. So she doesn't want Eden to be compromised at all, because that's kind of compromising herself. She's not telling them that. And she's not telling them that she knew about the banned potions, way before the engagement or anything happened, and that she didn't speak up about it, because then people will start asking unnecessary questions. So the way she's made it out to be is that after she found out, she had people check, and they found certain banned potions missing, so that's why. That's the connection she's made, that they were used. But okay, these guys, they are going to have to obviously go to the prison fort in the next episode, and they're going to have to try and rescue Princess Kyra. Is Eden, are they going to tell Eden? Are they going to include Eden in their plans? I don't know. And also, now that Jamie's kind of sent out a message to all the soldiers calling them to his side, who is going to answer his summons? Who are going, which soldiers are going to go? Who's going to show up and who's not going to show up? Who's going to go to Guinevere instead? So many questions to be had. A missing princess, well, she's not missing, we know where she is, but a kidnapped princess and such. But okay, guys, with that said and done, I'm going to leave off. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.